it's me. Sunday night was the 2022 VMAs, and a lot happened. Probably the biggest thing that happened was, Taylor Swift winning an award and announcing a new album coming out later this year. Taylor Swift fans, especially the Twitter stans, have been pointing out a ton of idiosyncrasies and Easter eggs that tie all the way back to the 2009 VMAs, where Taylor Swift was interrupted by and embarrassed by Kanye West on stage. I also noticed some things that I would like to point out and connect to theorize about the next album coming from Taylor Swift later this year. So let's talk about the details, the connection to the Kanye West scandal, some clues about Taylor's next album, and also maybe a conspiracy theory here and there. And as we explore this topic, I will be drawing this digital painting of Taylor Swift. I love asking anybody who wants to draw along with me to do so during this video, and I also love to see what you made with me, so if you want to share what you made, please send it to me on Instagram or Twitter at PaintandSipYT. And finally, before getting started, I would like to thank Literal E, Yuki Yeller, Jasmine, Maury, Fabian, and Teal for supporting my $5 tier on Patreon. Your support really helps me stay motivated and inspired to make art for myself that I want to make and that I ultimately give back to you guys as stickers and coloring pages and such. And with that, I am ready to get started if you are. To just very quickly recap what happened at the VMAs on Sunday, Taylor Swift won the award for 2022 Video of the Year with the All Too Well 10-minute version music video. During Taylor's acceptance speech, she announced her newest upcoming album called Midnights, which will be released on October 21st of this year. And before closing her speech, she said that more details about the new music will be available at midnight of that night.
I had sort of made up my mind that if you were going to be this generous and give us this, I thought it might be a fun moment to tell you that my brand new album comes out October 21st.
One of the biggest details from this night that I want to point out, however, is Taylor's look, especially her dress and her hair and her makeup and how I think it connects to 2009. And again, just real quick, what happened in 2009 again? In 2009, Taylor Swift had won the award for Best Female Video with You Belong With Me, and during her acceptance speech, Kanye West interrupted her by taking the stage and declaring his support for Beyonce, expressing that she had the best female video and therefore should have won this award in this category, even though Beyonce did go on to win Video of the Year for Single Ladies. It was a very notable moment, and it started an off-again, on-again rivalry between Taylor Swift and Kanye West for the years to come. So if we look back to the 2009 VMAs, Taylor Swift wore her hair in an updo with her bangs parted down the middle, and she wore a shiny silvery dress paired with a red lip and winged liner. In 2022, Taylor also wore her hair in an updo, her bangs parted down the middle, a shiny silvery dress, and red lips and winged liner. These two looks were worn 13 years apart, basically on the 13th anniversary of the Kanye West scandal. And 13, as you probably know, is Taylor's favorite number, and this new album contains 13 tracks. I think it's pretty obvious that this look is very reminiscent of her look 13 years ago, and I believe it was very intentional. And that also gets me thinking that Taylor Swift must have known beforehand, like days or weeks beforehand, that she would win this award and have the opportunity to make this announcement at this time. It's kind of a huge theory that award shows are pretty rigged, so if you believe that, then that doesn't seem too far-fetched. But Taylor's team had everything ready by midnight, just a few hours after she had won the award and had the chance to announce her album. So they literally updated all her social media accounts, her website, her online store. They had everything ready for pre-order sales to drop. There's no way it wasn't scheduled. So I'm not sure what would have happened if she didn't win, if the album would have still, been announced regardless or what, but the whole thing, the 13th anniversary, the look paying homage to her look in 2009, It seems to be one big elaborate plan that they knew would work out ahead of time. But that's just me making theories. Let me know if you believe that or not. So now let's actually talk about the facts of the album before getting into any more theories, which some more might actually come later, but that's for later. So on the Taylor Swift website, there is a short description or introduction to the content of the new album. It says, "We lie awake in love and in fear, in turmoil and in tears. We stare at walls and drink until they speak back. We twist in our self-made cages and pray that we aren't right this minute about to make some fateful life-altering mistake. This is a collection of music written in the middle of the night, a journey through terrors and sweet dreams, the floors we pace and the demons we face, for all of us who have tossed and turned and decided to keep the lanterns lit and go searching, hoping that just maybe when the clock strikes 12, we'll meet ourselves. Midnights, the stories of 13 sleepless nights scattered throughout my life will be out October 21st. Meet me at midnight." So that is, the introduction to the album. So, if we just it's easy to break down, but if we break it down, 13 tracks, 13 songs, and probably a collection of songs throughout the years. Maybe some archived songs, maybe some unreleased songs, that's the vibe I'm getting. Now let's talk about what genre it's going to be. I've seen screenshots online from people saying that Apple Music says it's rock, other sources specify rock/pop, and unpopular opinion here, but I really, really hope it's not pop. I'm not a fan of Taylor's pop music, especially the bubblegum pop, like I Knew You Were Trouble, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, 22, it's just not for me. So I'm thinking and I'm hoping, mostly hoping, that this new music will have a more acoustic feel, maybe some country roots, kind of like how the Fearless or Speak Now eras of music were. But definitely not full-on hick like a lot of debut was. I don't think we will be hearing about pickup trucks or Georgia Stars or Backroads or anything like that at all. But I could see a throwback to some of her staple lyrics, about knowing something like the back of her hand, a lot of 3 a.m. references for sure, maybe some angsty kissing in the rain motifs, but yeah, I would just love to hear maybe some of that, kind of a little bit of a little throwback. And I do think that some of these classic country Taylor motifs might make a comeback, with the idea that these 13 tracks are probably at least somewhat consist of archives of some maybe unreleased music, at least since 13 years ago in 2009, but maybe from all the way back from before she even debuted. I also definitely think that we will be getting at least another song about Kanye West and that situation, maybe somewhat reminiscent of Innocent, which was also about Kanye West. And I'm not saying that I expect or want this to be the exact same genre as Fearless or Speak Now, especially because we know it, or we think we know that it has been listed as rock in several places. And with that, combining rock with her country pop genre, I'm kind of thinking, and again, mostly hoping, that we get to hear some vintage inspiration. I'm gonna go ahead and doubt that it's going to be anything hard, like heavy, like most contemporary rock we hear on rock stations today, but instead, maybe she will pull elements of inspiration from music like American Pie from Don McLean. This is my own little conspiracy theory here, but we know that Taylor Swift sent flowers to Don McLean after the release of her 10-minute version of All Too Well, which again is the song that she won her 2022 VMA for, where she announced her new album. And when Taylor sent flowers to Don McLean, she included a note saying, "I will never forget that I am standing on the shoulders of giants. Your music has been so important to me, sending love, one writer of long songs to another." So with Taylor's re-released version of All Too Well being 10 minutes long, and Don McLean's most acclaimed work, American Pie, a lyrically poetic 15-minute ballad about music and society of the 1950s and 60s, I definitely think that the genre, as well as other acoustic rock ballad genres, could have inspired Taylor's newest album. I could also see her possibly taking inspiration from music like Pink Floyd, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan, etc. I would really love hearing her in that type of genre for sure. And if she did want to kind of give it a more of a feminine pop twist, I'd love to hear her take some inspiration from Heart or Bonnie Tyler or Blondie, kind of like how Miley Cyrus kind of has been doing recently. And this is kind of just a really out there theory that's probably not true, but some people have been thinking that maybe this here is a snippet from the album. But I just think it's stock music. But do you think this could be maybe the style, or is it literally just a random piece of audio put behind this announcement? And just one last shady little theory I've seen floating around. There is something to do with the release date of October 21st. Some have noticed that October 21st is actually Kim Kardashian's birthday. You know, the Kim Kardashian who was married to Kanye West, the Kim Kardashian who, in partner with Kanye West, tried to expose Taylor Swift and leaked a phone call with her in 2016. I know it's a little far-fetched, but I just had to point it out. So once again, please remember to follow my socials and tag me in your art because I'd love to see what you made with me, if you made anything with me today. And with that, I hit outro, so okay, bye.